Hi, I'm Guy,
Hi, I'm Troy.
and this is Geek Tank.
I've got a plate full of cookies size podcast.
Oh, can I have a cookie?
Yes, here.
Thanks.
Uh, uh, it's not working.
Eh,
Why is technology not caught up with that?
I know, right?
Lame. Well, welcome back for anyone who shows up after two shows that we missed.
Right? It's been kind of brutal, but
Yeah.
I'm done with college on Friday, so
Mhm. And I'm done with rehearsals now that are taking place during Mondays.
and I should
So,
quantify that by saying I'm not done with college. I'm done with my undergrad because I will be doing a grad. So there will
and
be
then
a grad part of it.
so you do
And
the
we'll be
undergrad and then the grad and then the overgrad.
right. Somewhere along the line, you
Mhm.
just have to be grad to be done.
Yeah. You'd be gradful.
Yeah. Right.
Ah, man. Any case, yeah, I was just at my wife's last night as mayor. She's served the city since 2005
Hey,
as a
Bob.
city council member. Hey, Bob, and served two full terms as mayor, and is now term limited out. Both extremely happy that she's going to be getting free time back, but also sad because she really did enjoy serving the city.
Right.
So,
Yeah, actually, that it was kind of cool knowing a mayor.
mhm.
But I mean, there were a couple of things that I have to give her credit in a couple of places. There were a couple of discussions I had with her
Mhm.
where I went, oh, and understood a lot more about the way our legal system and government system works.
Mhm.
Because she's a really effective communicator
Yes,
and well knowledgeable about what she was doing. So that made
and,
for a great combo of I don't understand this, and her going,
mhm.
well, let me
Yeah.
explain to you. Oh, now I understand this.
And surprise, surprise, television doesn't get it right.
Right,
So people have the wrong idea of who has what power and what how those powers work.
right, right. So yeah, I mean, and at some point I will be sure to convey that directly to her, of course. I've been meaning to say that, but I just, oh, hi. And I'm going to tell Tara something. What was it I was going to tell Tara again? I don't know. Must not have been important. Walk off. You know. So somewhere,
Which happens to
I
you with a lot of people, right?
yeah, somewhere along the line, I will the Swiss cheese of my brain will catch up with the alignment of the universe, and
Hmm.
I will be in the right place, the right time, with the right thought process, and all will be good.
Possibly the New Year's Eve karaoke party,
There you go.
because you're not sure if you're going to make the Pie Hard party, right? Because you might be leaving for Mexico.
Nope, I'm
So,
not leaving.
oh, okay,
So
sweet,
I'm probably going to be at Pie Hard.
awesome.
Odds are good. We are swapping vehicles though, so I will be with the short range vehicle. So I may need a ride and or whatever because I am not as confident about driving that short range vehicle as Mariah is. So,
Okay. Well,
but
the usual crew's invited, so between the crew, you should be able to find
find
carpool
something.
options.
Yeah, odds are good.
Yeah, I believe our friend Kevin's going to be making it, so that might be a carpool option.
That'd be perfect. I'll just ride with them, so that'll be
Them, yeah,
perfect.
sweet.
I'm themming as many people as I can them these
Yeah,
days.
I get it.
I've got a lot of friends in college that are thems, and
Mhm.
then I've got a lot of friends who are he's and she's and don't care whether they're called thems. So I'm just theming the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, one of my cast members covers the entire gambit. It's like whatever you pick is going to be right. And I'm like,
Nice.
wow, that works. I guess
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same. I mean, it would be incorrect to call me she or her, but it's not like I care.
Yeah.
So it's kind
I
of a different
somebody the
aspect.
other day, somebody said yes, ma'am to me, and then stopped
Yeah,
and froze, and I'm like, I'm good with that. I don't
it's like
care. It's fine.
whatever.
I find that ma'am,
We're
sir works. Both are
we're
respectful.
communicating with each other,
That's
and
all that's important.
I understood what you were trying to communicate.
Yep. I'm gonna
That's all that
sneeze.
is.
No, I'm not gonna sneeze. Yes, I am.
Liar.
no, yes, no,
See, when you
yes,
say
no,
you
yes,
are,
no.
you cancel out, but then when you say you're not, you bring it back on.
I was gonna say, if you call the sneeze out, it gets all like embarrassed.
Yeah, it's shy.
It's shy. I have a shy sneeze
Uh,
problem. So yeah,
so
so I'm in finals, and today was talking to my professor, and normally this would be a horrifying moment, but I know this professor very well, and it turned out to be not a horrifying moment, but it's my archaeology professor, and there we go. We could do that. That works too.
Hmm.
No, but now you're on top of the
yeah,
talk. Yeah, you can't do that.
no, I can't,
No,
and
but
I can't move it like that.
archaeology. So I've been working on a dig that we did on Wazee Street in a section where Wazee Street doesn't exist anymore.
You probably shouldn't
And
be
the
digging
dig,
in your Wazee.
yep. And the dig was in 1987 before they put in Auraria Parkway. And so before that, Wazee actually extended across over the river and over onto the other side into Auraria campus's location. And then they tore that all up and put in Ball Arena. And the dig was there, and I've been trying to locate it based on handwritten notes in a notebook, which have been scanned in, but they're all handwritten. And I've been trying to find where that was. And then I had all these artifacts, and I was going to identify where all these artifacts were in the dig based on, because the idea was we've got all these weird artifacts. So why are they weird artifacts? So my goal was to identify where we found them, what building was once there, in hopes that you would be able to go, oh, okay, well, this obviously explains a lot. Like I saw a couple of old spark plugs, but they were Model T era spark plugs, so they were not modern. A couple of light bulbs that were obviously from the 20s, 30s automobile. One of them didn't match that, but in fact matched a streetcar, which was kind of cool because we did have streetcars at one point in time in Colorado. And so it was a streetcar light bulb. So like there was this kind of cool mishmash of things, but none of that was in my group of artifacts. So my group of artifacts weren't matching, and I couldn't get the numbers to match, and I couldn't get them to match up, and I was getting very stressed out. And so I met with my professor, and she said, you're not supposed to be working on Wazee. I thought you were working on 9th Street. And I went, oh. And she goes, that's okay. We'll just move you over to Wazee and you can do a different thing. She said the problem with Wazee is that it happened so long ago that nobody has accurate records. So maybe your final project is trying to sort out those records since you've already gotten 90% of the way there. And I was like, okay. Oh, thank goodness. Because I was about to panic that I had just spent probably 7 or 8 hours, maybe even more than that, on a project that wasn't my area. And all because 9th Street and Wazee are both pretty much not there anymore, because none of it is. This is all stuff that's right around the Tivoli. And the Tivoli is pretty much the only thing that has not been completely changed in that entire neighborhood since the 1960s. So, like, it's absolutely different. The only thing that's not different is the Tivoli. Everything else is completely different. And so you can't go back to anything past like 1995. You know, it's looked like what it looks like now since 1995, but prior to that, it was completely different.
So is this a dig site?
Yeah, it was a dig site in the 80s, and then we have all these artifacts that came from the dig site.
Okay, so they're like stored somewhere.
Yeah, they're in. Okay. Yeah, because the our anthropology department store is a state sanctioned repository for artifacts.
Okay. So this is so were you on site at the what used to be Wazee Street, or are you
No.
archive?
I've been working from the notes that are digitized.
Okay, so
but
your
artifacts were in the location. They were in the. We've got a lab, and they were in the lab.
Okay, got you.
And
Yeah,
so the class was called Archaeological Lab Methodologies. So it's about how to maintain your lab and how to keep your artifacts and how to find information. And so it's not supposed to be field side,
got
it's
you.
lab side.
Okay,
So
I'm
yeah,
with you now.
yeah. And so that was where it was. And the final was supposed to be a big 12, 13-page paper on what you were doing. And I was writing my 12, 13-page paper, and none of the artifacts were lining up. And I'm like,
Hmm.
So I wrote to my professor and I was like, help? And she was like, you're not supposed to be at Wazee. You're supposed to be on 9th Street. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh. And she's like, that's fine. It's all good.
Yeah,
And
since that was what threw me off. Since you were
yeah,
saying you're supposed to be at, that made me think
right.
you were.
Because the artifacts that I've got are 9th Street
Yeah,
artifacts.
gotcha.
And I'm pulling up Wazee Street data.
Mhm.
And the problem is that 9th Street to Wazee Street, I mean, the dig that we were at was at 7th Street and Wazee. So the 9th Street is only 2 blocks up. So it's not like it's,
Mhm.
across town, or you could literally walk between the two sites.
Yeah.
So and that's mostly because it's MSU, and I mean, they've got a lot of interesting stuff that campus was built on. CU Boulder is a lot less interesting because CU has been pretty much in the same spot since the 1800s. So
Okay.
that means that you don't really get to dig up old neighborhoods from. All you can do there is start looking for dinosaur bones and
Mhm.
Native American bones, which then gets NAGPRA involved. And anytime you get that involved, things get complicated in a good way, but they get complicated.
Well, cool. I'm glad that your teacher is cool
Yep.
about letting you switch over your work, so that way that's gonna not lose all that work you did and all the notes you were taking about stuff.
Right.
And you'd
Well,
rather look at old cars anyway.
exactly. I mean, I'm like, this is and I found out that there was a roundhouse out there about where Elitch's is,
And a flying jump kick.
and a flying jump kick
Okay.
right next to each other. But I got obsessed with the roundhouse for about 3 hours before I started this. So for those of you who are not familiar with what a roundhouse is a massive turntable with a piece of track in the middle of it. And the train will roll up onto it, and then the turntable pivots, and that allows the train to go back out again. But usually roundhouses have like places to park your locomotives all around it. So when you go out and dig up a roundhouse, you're going to find locomotive parts all over the place, steam engine parts and all kinds of stuff all over the place, because a roundhouse is a big, massive location. There were a lot of train tracks coming into, because Union Station is right there. And so this was the switch yard. All of this just north of this location was a switch yard.
Mhm.
So the trains would come in to the switch yard, and there were, you'd get 2 tracks that would immediately switch to 4, that would switch to 8, that would switch to 16 in a big hurry. So you could switch the trains back and forth and reload them onto the different tracks. So there was this massive yard of just rails out there. And what's fascinating is that the light rail actually is 2 of the regular or the original train tracks. So the 2 light rail lines that are through that area are the original rail lines that went through there. They're further down the switching yard, but they're still there, which is why that train goes right by Auraria, because it was easy. They just repurposed the tracks. So
Anybody who's watched Thomas the Tank Engine should know what a roundhouse is.
yep, and a switching yard. Yep.
Well, cool. Neat.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
kinds of. It's funny because I'm not an anthropologist, but boy, I gotta admit, every time I get into these things, I get all caught up in something like this that makes me go, hey, it wouldn't hurt to be an anthropologist.
yeah. I mean, it's neat
I
that
could
you're
dig up
finding
trains all day long and be happy.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, for the next 2 weekends, I am in a play that's at the Meisel Theater. Meisel, I think it's pronounced Meisel, at the JCC. Mizel. I'm going to double. Whoops. Thanks for not typing when I click on the thing.
You're welcome.
That's not at all helpful.
I'm never helpful.
So, no, that's not. Oh, there it is. Meisel Arts and Cultural Center, also known as JCC, which there's so many JCCs. It's like if you type in just JCC, you're not going to find it. But it's being put on by a group called Elemental Theater. It's Jacob Marley's Christmas Carol. So it's a like Christmas Carol, but from Jacob Marley's point of view. I have not done an actual play since college. So when I was roped into this, I was a little panicked about can I memorize an entire script, because everything you and I have done, guys, we have had scripts, but it's just chunks.
We wing it.
Improvise it. Wing it.
We wing chung it.
By the way, I am not seeing anything in the comments, so let me know if something pops up, because I don't know if that's my side or not.
I think it's your side, because Bob's already said good evening.
I heard you say hi to Bob, and that's why I was confused why this is not showing.
It may have been that it reset when you tried to move things around. I don't know. But if you click over to the right, you can click the chat on the right. It should show you what the chat said over in the right side.
There it is. So what's the audience comments section here?
It should be well, see, now you just...
So that covers it up for what you can see. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I can't see it either.
So when
I came back whenever you did that.
See, when I do that, the area that I'm covering up, there's nothing there. But to the right of that, I can actually see a chat.
Yep.
So interesting.
I don't know why it's not showing, but everybody else on screen can see it.
Okay.
So
yeah. Now they can't. Ha ha ha.
Aha.
All right.
You have learned how to control the thing.
But yeah, we haven't had to do that, but I've been pretty successful with getting the script memorized. There's been a couple of times where I catch myself switching lines, but it's the same information and it's not cues, so I'm not screwing anybody up. But the cast is awesome. Really love performing with them. I think the play is not written the best, but that's the playwright's fault.
Oh, and there's nothing you can do to change it.
Nope, not because you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to intentionally. But if something happens by
accidentally,
yeah, then that's, when you stick an improv performer in a play, that's the risk you run.
Yep.
Any case, yeah, interesting stuff. I've been keeping up with a show that I know you're not going to watch because it's full of jump scares. The Welcome to Derry, which is the series based off of Stephen King's It.
How about it?
I'm finding it interesting.
You're finding it interesting?
It's interesting, yes.
It is interesting.
But I'm not a huge King fan, and I haven't read all the books. So I know there's a lot of stuff that people who have read it are telling me, oh, this connects to this and this and that. And I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't know that, but
there is definitely a Kingverse out there.
Yeah. Coming up soon, season 2 of Fallout's going to be out, so we'll have to watch that together.
Yep. I'm into that plan. Also coming up in the beginning of January is the new Star Trek series, which is Star Trek Starfleet Academy.
Oh yeah,
which I was not interested in, but now I'm starting to become more interested in as time has gone on.
I only saw a still shot. I was wondering if it's Star Trek Riverdale.
Well, they seem to be playing interesting games with their stills, like as in they're trying to find different. I think they're playing jokes, is what in other words, because I think I know which one you're talking about, the one where they're all lying in the grass.
Yeah,
that's intentionally supposed to look like some college.
Star Trek The Breakfast Club.
Show.
Yep, Breakfast Club Star Trek.
Yeah, it's intentionally they're messing around. But I wasn't sure about it. They've been trying to make an academy, Starfleet Academy, since 1987, 88. So one of the early versions of Next Generation was going to be Starfleet Academy. And so before it became Next Gen, there was talk about making it the Academy. That way they could bring back the old Star Trek actors like Kirk, Spock, and McCoy as professors in the academy,
Mhm.
and then introduce us to a whole new generation of Starfleet cadets that would then graduate, take their own spaceship, and start a new series.
Yeah.
So they've been talking about this for a very long time, and the response to Starfleet Academy has generally been relatively lukewarm. And it's mostly because yeah, the Academy sounds fine until you really get stuck marred in it. And then it just sounds like, college drama, which is kind of what that picture that you saw was kind of going into. And I don't know, a lot of us
Although
Trekkies are just like,
I'm not as big of a Trekkie that I actually think it would be interesting because it would require good writing, but there could be a really good drama with character development with
mhm.
the backdrop being Starfleet Academy, without
Hey,
it
Brent,
necessarily
can you
having
see
to
Brent?
be. Yeah, I saw Brent do his thing. And for
Okay.
some reason, Bob's thing didn't pop up on mine.
Okay.
But in any
All right.
case, maybe it may be that it just did a weird thing. But yeah, but I think it has potential. But I could
Uh-huh.
see how a bunch of hardcore Star Trek fans will go, "This isn't doing any of the Star Trek stuff we want."
Hey, you bought a place. Good job, man.
Yeah, well,
Um,
we haven't been here the past 2 weeks, so
yeah, we
we're
haven't been here in the last 2 weeks, and I really, honestly, my world is so complex right now. I graduate on Friday, so but yeah, and that actually is what's drawing me back. There has been some interesting things. I know that Holly Hunter is in it now. She's the
Hmm.
captain, and I was like, that's a left turn I did not anticipate. That's not her field at all. But I also know that she wears glasses. I think that's funny. Like she wears cheaters. So I find that entertaining. Because like she comes over to we've got this thing coming on, and she goes, oh, and I was like, did not expect cheaters in Star Trek, but here we are.
Well,
She must
wasn't
be
that
allergic
wasn't
to retinox 5.
yeah, wasn't that a
Um,
thing with Kirk?
yeah, that's why I was saying that must be the
Yeah.
commentary is that she's also allergic to retinox 5. Um, well, thank you, Brent. But the other thing that's interesting is that the Doctor is back. And I just learned today that it is not, in fact, the Doctor from the Voyager episode where the Doctor was a backup Doctor. It's the actual Doctor. And he actually is really old.
Hmm.
So now Star Trek's Doctor is as old as Doctor Who's Doctor, which makes it funny. So Robert Picardo's Doctor, as in the Doctor from Voyager.
So he's not a hologram playing himself.
He is a hologram. He's still the
Oh,
same hologram, and he was the hologram. He's the same hologram that came from Voyager. So he's been around now for 800 some odd years,
hmm.
which is kind of cool. Um, some other things I have heard I don't know if I like this one as much. They're going to bring back Tilly, but only for one episode. Then she's leaving because Mary Wiseman is moving on to something else. And I'm not sure what the story was, but I was kind of looking forward to that.
Hmm.
Because I liked Tilly from Discovery. Tilly was cool. So I kind of looked forward to having Tilly being as part of the Academy. So they're intentionally doing that. I don't know. So
Mm-hmm.
Well, the good news is, Brent, they're being remarkably tight about their spoilers. I know very, very little. And now part of it also is that I have been so swamped with homework that I haven't done much of anything. Tonight we watched an episode of Doctor Who, literally the first thing I've watched in 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, I watched one episode of Alien Earth. And I'm going to sludge my way through that, leaning heavily on where'sthejump.com because I want to see that because I love the Alien franchise. And I'm tolerating the fact that it is extraordinarily jump scary, intentionally so. Although I think it's funny, they're doing a good job of kind of mimicking Aliens in one main thing, and that is there are no jump scares in the first episode. But there are a lot of jump scares in the second episode, just like they did in Aliens, where everything was do 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 do, and then there was nothing there. Do do do, nothing there. Do do do, nothing there. And then once they get down to the second sub level, that's when all the jump scares start. Yep, Boys season 4 starts in April.
Yeah, I got to catch you and Kev up on
The Boys,
not the boys, and on
V.
Gen V.
Yeah, Gen V, which still has the same stupid character. The jump scare character that I don't like. I actually like her as a character a lot. I do not like the jump scare aspect of the jump scare.
Noticing Tignatoro is going to be in Academy.
Yep.
Nice
Also, because I like her. I like them because I think
Yeah.
they're them.
Great delivery because it's their stand-up comic.
Yeah. Well, so is Mary Wiseman, which is that's why I liked her.
Yep.
She was cool. I mean,
yeah.
I'm assuming she will be back, but so far all I've heard is that she only did one episode in the season. We've also got another season of Strange New Worlds ahead of us. We've actually had 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds ahead of us, but I'm following most of the actors, and it is kind of sad because they are on the last episodes of filming ever. So they're filming the end of season 5. And so anyway, so I'm kind of watching them all stand down. Anson Mount, who plays Captain Pike, did a video a little while ago where he was like, I just want to make sure you guys are having a good day. And I'm walking to work. And as he is, he's walking through all the doors and going through the back parts of the set and everything like that. And then every so often he goes, whoop, got to turn the camera. You can't see that part and stuff. And I went and I typed in there. I was like, here's to hoping that you go back through this somewhere along the line and just record it so that we can watch it after the episodes have aired. Because I'd love to see what you can't show us. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to see what he was turning the camera away from. Because I love behind the scenes stuff. I always have. So I would love to see how'd they get there, how'd they do that, you know, what was there and that kind of stuff. That'd be fun. So all about that plan. So yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of winding down going on, huh?
I was going to say, speaking of plans,
you know what's the best laid plans? No, wait. Okay, wait. I don't know that one. I was trying really hard to make. Geek Tank is sponsored by Kieran Games, Geekway Homes, the Massage Wizard, and
Yo Mama. You had concepts of a plan and it didn't really work out.
It didn't. Speaking of con, I finished listening to the audio play called Star Trek Con, which was really good. They've got it as a podcast, so you can go out there and find it on Spotify or whatever, and it's free, and it explains what happened to Khan between the episode Space Seed and the movie Star Trek 2. And it was Pluribus. Yeah.
I've heard good stuff about that show. So
after Friday, I will have an immense jump in the amount of time that I will have to myself. All of a sudden, I will go from no time to lots of time. So I've got lots to do. I just no longer have I got to do it by Friday sort of stuff. So I'll be able to get a lot of the things that I've been meaning to do for a long time out of the way. So that should be good. But yeah, I'll watch that. Con, the audio play Con was really, really good, and I really enjoyed it. When it started, it has one actor in it that was just a little over the top. So I was like, ugh, I'm not going to like this. But she plays an important part in it, but doesn't play a lot of it. And she ends up playing opposite Tim Russ and George Takei.
Hmm.
So they kind of overrun her at some point in time with just sheer power. The play takes place on the Excelsior during the movie era. So it takes place after Star Trek 6. So because of that, George Takei plays Captain Sulu, and um, Tim Russ plays Ensign Tuvok, because we know from the episode Flashback in Voyager that Tuvok was stationed aboard the Excelsior. So the whole thing is fascinatingly done. They've got all kinds of interesting stuff in it, and I really enjoyed it. And it's canon. They've said that it's canon.
Hmm.
So it was written by Nick Myers, who was the guy who wrote Star Trek 2, 4, and 6, or rewrote 2. But all the good movies that everybody always like, oh, those are the good movies. That's because Nick Meyer had a hand in it, and so he wrote it, and it was good. I of course I can't watch TV and do my homework at the same time, but I
Yeah.
can listen and do homework. So I've been burning through a ton of podcasts, and one of the other ones is I've been in on Will Wheaton's Story Time. So now Will Wheaton has a podcast out there where he just reads these short stories that he's found. And they are all amazing short stories. Like, he's picking some of the best of the new science fiction out there. And yeah, the podcasts are about an hour long. So it's perfect bite-sized, and they're complete stories. So there's, because they're short stories, so they're complete, and they're all kind of Asimov science fiction, short story-esque stuff. So they're all kind of a little bit mind-bendy.
Hmm.
They all kind of like do like all good short stories do, where you read them and you're like, I'm gonna have to sit here for a minute and just digest that, because that was serious. Yep, that is exactly what happened. And yep, and it is devastatingly awesome.
Hmm.
I'm not going to say any spoilers at all as to what happened there, but the way that they did it was really well done. And I liked it a lot, because it added depth to that entire thing. And it added a depth to it that is just devastating and heartbreaking and beautiful and well
Mm-hmm.
done.
Nice.
So I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend. It's a complete unit. So the last one came out in the last part of November, and it was really good. Just really good. Anyway, highly recommend.
Nice. Let's see. Somebody had said something. I was trying to catch up on that there. Nope. All right. So, are you still running your Cyberpunk game?
Yo.
You had to take time off for school, I assume.
Yeah, because 2 of the players are in college at finals right now. So
Yeah.
And one of the players, of the 4 players, 2 of them were in finals, and one of them is way behind in their schoolwork. So it became somewhat inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
However, we've been rotating the GM on that one.
Okay.
So that it wasn't, hey, Donald. It wasn't so that we wouldn't be leaning heavily on just one GM the whole time. And so we weren't playing the Cyberpunk game. We were playing the Cyberpunk game. Then we moved over to a classic D&D 5e. And there's been discussion now about moving the GM duties back over to Kevin. And they want to do something else. And then I just found Dark Matter 5e, which I'm now looking into, which is, it's still got elves and dwarves, but it's also got mecha and spaceships. And it's in 5e's world, so you still have a 5e character sheet, which means that the rules to build and the rules to play are still very straightforward in 5e.
Is it trying to do Space Jammer type stuff?
It's like that, but not quite.
Okay.
I actually get that the rules are somewhat easier. I will take a look while we are talking.
It's clearly not based off of the TV series, because that
No,
has
it's
nothing to
not.
do with elves.
It is something completely different. But it came up on my, Kickstarter. You would want to play this thing. They've got a box set coming out with everything in it. And I went and found out that there was a actual version of it before. So I went and downloaded them. And so now I have it, and I'm looking at it right now. Got
Dark Matter Mega Box.
That one I think I might be into just because of the map. Oh, you're going to go to Savage Worlds. Yeah. So it's a Mage Hand Press, but it's wizards and elves and things like that, but in space.
In space.
Elves in space. So I'm finding it interesting. And Donald, you're moving. Bob's moving over to Savage Worlds, and so that's kind of interesting. I'm curious. I mean, I really like Savage Worlds. It is so light on its feet. It's a nice, not rules heavy world, but everybody knows 5e. So it's easier to play in 5e, even though I hate 5e because it's just full of math. But I also am cognizant and aware that I am weird.
So I've been putting together a plan for doing summer camps, teaching how to both play and run D&D games for teens. Because there seems to be a market for that.
Agreed.
And I've had some of the teens from the improv troupe that's under the same director as the improv troupe that I'm in. When they find out that I know stuff about D&D, they're like, ooh, I want to pick your brain about stuff. And then
right.
Like, cool, let's do it. And
it's I am entertained. And Bob, I agree. That's the companions. It is pretty easy to convert. I just usually end up with a lot of grumbling. But I agree. What I find fascinating is how things have changed. You know what I mean? When we talk about those of us that are over there in the motor pool, which would be, Brent and Donald and Bob, whom all of us here, all five of us, are old school gamers. We've been playing for a day or two now. And so for us, we're kind of like, oh, well, but I also find it fascinating that people will now come up to us and say, oh, you know D&D? I just learned about it last week when my stepbrother sister's former roommate introduced, and I'm like, but you look like a jock and you're like not beating me up for playing D&D. And that's what I'm used to. And so like the world has changed. I don't know what to do about this. So I find it funny, not funny. I find it funny in a positive way. The funny in a positive way thing that you get whenever it's like, because it's true. Now people are coming up to you and saying, oh, you know D&D? Tell me a little bit about this. I can say it I've been at college, and now whenever I say I play D&Ds on Sunday, they're like, oh yeah, our D&D night's Thursday. Like that's just a normal thing. Everybody in college plays D&D now. It's like that's a thing. Yeah. Satanic Panic. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Now it's more popular and mainstream, exactly. And that is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of things where it's nice that I've been wearing really heavily Star Trekky outfit, jackets and stuff like that to school, and all I end up with now is people doing the Vulcan sign at me, and that's what I get instead of people giving me weird looks. Like, this is normal. It's okay now. You can be a Trekkie and you can play D&D and you can, you know what I mean? Like, this wasn't stuff that we were getting 5.5, yeah,
I,
2024.
I haven't actually looked at that stuff yet. So.
The changes to the new 2024 changes aren't that dramatic.
Hmm.
I mean, other than like the little, I mean, well, okay, I guess I shouldn't say that. I was listening to a podcast where they were talking about some of the problems with they borked a couple of things. They
Hmm.
really did. They gimped a couple of stuff. I can't remember who, because it was the Wizard or something, and I've never played Wizards. I can't remember if it was Wizard or not specifically, but I seem to remember it was one of the Magic users.
Hmm.
And Bard was the first time I've ever gone into Magic users, because the Magic's usually way too complicated for me.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with
Um,
that much.
yeah, I even now, even understanding it, I still have a hard time remembering to check my spell slots and
Mhm.
check the things and stuff like that. So,
I
yeah,
do think that it's very helpful with a lot of the being able to just create yourself some player aids and have cards like you would use in Magic. And as you use it up, just move it, and then it gives you a visual to know, oh, I can't do that anymore.
right,
So
right, yeah.
hmm.
A home that allows you to make money or build rep. That's kind of cool.
Hmm.
So, so they're kind of taking key from some of the video games out there. That's kind of interesting. That sounds very Black Desert Online to me. One of the problems I was having with BDO was too many things moving. There were I had butlers and servants, and it was getting really weird, and I was having a hard time tracking all of them. I just There's only so much space that I have that when I'm not hyper focusing, I can only maintain like 5 or 6 things. And so once we start exceeding that, when I'm hyper focusing, it's great, but I hyper focusing takes up a lot of power. So
Hmm.
it's difficult for me to just do it on command and just kind of, that kind of thing. I don't know. I'm rambling now.
Yeah, you are. Well, now, like you
I'm
haven't been.
rambling like I always do.
Standard talk.
Standard. Nothing's changed.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, that makes sense since it's been a year since 2024 anyway.
Yeah.
We're a little behind, a little
Uh,
behind the times.
well,
So,
I could say that diving into fifth edition when I did was a fun adventure and learned a lot. And it was pretty easy to house rule the stuff that we didn't like.
agreed.
So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, but I can't remember the names of them now. I think they're called like Encounters in a Box or something like that. But I've picked up a few of those pretty cheap. Um, and they're basically the way that you would have a 4 hour game session would be made up of a bunch of different scenes. The Encounters in a Box is basically just one of those scenes. So it's going to take anywhere from like 30 minutes to 2 hours at most because it's just a quick little bit. For example, one of them is a jailbreak, and that's it. So you get your, and it's just it's nice because they can be one shots, and you can put them out there and have people try new characters or do it however they want, and there's multiple ways to go about doing that adventure.
Or
That
play legacy
that
characters
scene.
that we will miss.
Yeah.
because I definitely am starting to really miss Ivy.
Yeah, that's a fun group.
Yeah, that was a good group, and that was some good solid characters, and
I'm hesitant to continue on without everybody. So
I agree.
and I just keep hoping there's a way to figure out how to make that work.
I have some thoughts. You and I can talk about it off camera.
We'll see.
Um, but
But
yeah,
yeah,
the that is always an interesting thing.
Mm.
Brent, you'll be interested to know that I actually drew 3 more pages of Bellatrix Rising in a weird outside sort of way, which is kind of cool. For this semester, I had to we did I did a class called Writing Systems, and it was on writing, like how writing has evolved over the years, how writing, how writing is broken down, how do you understand and comprehend writing, and stuff like that. And for my final project, I turned the language that I've been using in my comic book into a real language. I actually gave it syntax and grammar and gave it actual meaning. The characters mean something, and all of it is based on science. So it's all based on the studies that I did during the class. So understanding, yeah, I will be streaming next year, and we'll be getting back into drawing. I don't know if I got to talk about meeting Afua Richardson, but
I think you
she's an
did.
artist for Black Panther,
I think
and
three or four podcasts ago you got to mention
yeah,
it.
and so at Iacon, I got to meet Afua Richardson, and she and I were talking, and she said something to me that really resonated. She said like 3 or 4 things that really resonated, but one of the things that she said was, art is in your bones, and it's a fire that burns, and if you don't get it out and put it out on paper, it will burn you. And I realized that to some degree, she's really, really, really right. I've been dying to just get back to drawing. So I will be streaming again. I will be drawing again. I've got paper over there. I'm going to actually try a different little bit of a technique. I'm going to take this camera and mount it up over there and then draw hand draw stuff. I like the inking to be hand done and the blue lining to be PC done. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of building on the computer and then printing those out on 11 by 17 Strathboard, and then going over on that section over there and with a camera mounted straight down, inking it. So that's what the battle plan will be for the new streaming season, if you will. Now that school's out, I've got 6 months here, of which I would like to continue on, finish up my episode of Bellatrix Rising and that one episode, and add the remainder of the language stuff that I just did, because now Tamerbeshi, which is the name of the language that they had been using, used to be just gibberish, but now it actually has meaning. It has actual words. It's got syntax and language. It's really cool. Also, I got an A in that project, as you might imagine, because nobody expects full rendered comic pages to come in on a project. But I brought in the characters and had them sit there and talk about stuff and discuss it, so that it was in universe, them discussing why the language the way it was. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but that particular professor is in the news right now in a positive way, because he just recently cracked a code on ancient Mayan languages. So he was working in the Yucatan Peninsula at one of the sites with the Mayan languages, and he broke one of the codes in the way that the glyphs were, and has caused a stir because Mayan was cracked in the 90s, but there were still pieces of it that they didn't quite grasp, and he just cracked one part of it. So this is the same person who I'm taking a class with, and here I am inventing a language. And I was like sitting there going, because everybody else is doing something about some other language. And I went up to him and he was like, be creative about this. And I was like, can I do a comic? And he was like, sure. What are you going to do a comic about? And then I told him about this, and he literally leaned in and he was like, okay, so what caused tell me more about how this, the language was created. And he was like suddenly super engaged. So like, he was like, this is really interesting. So I'm sitting here really engaging this particular professor.
Nice.
I also got a write-up on in the paper. So
you got written up.
I got written up in the paper. School paper did an article on me, and I'm showing up on their, they took pictures. They took lots of pictures of me, and I'm showing up now on the Instagram. So all of my friends are writing going, why are you showing up on my Instagram? So I just changed the, my avatar, whatever you want to call it, my profile picture on Facebook, because it was a pretty cool picture of me. I'm looking at a metacarpal, which I was sure was a human.
You've never met a carpal you didn't like?
I've never met a carpal I didn't like. So yeah, cool. Brent, I'll be streaming again.
Back in the saddle. Cool. Back in the art saddle.
Yeah, back in the art saddle. I can't not be. I'm just not going to do it for money anymore, which is fine. I'm doing it for me, which clearly needs to happen. I clearly can't just stop. I clearly can't stop. But
I can quit anytime I want.
Yeah, right. It's just, I'm like sitting here going, well, I guess that's what I just need to do now. So here we are. I am being extra wordy, but that's mostly because I have been only doing homework sitting here for 5 days in a row. And so this is kind of the first real, even though it's not human contact because we're not actually in the same room, but it's like the first people I've had to talk to in a while.
Yeah. One of my fellow improv performers has invented like 5 languages and knows like 3 or 4. That's so it's cool. Like that's like their specialty that they're studying is linguistics. So if you ever need to talk to somebody who has invented other languages that are fictional,
or just another, because that's an anthropology branch.
Yeah,
usually. I mean, so that means that'd be not directly my field, but really close to my field. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, I mean that. Cool. I would love to meet them.
You could meet them December. Oh, wait, you're not done till the 20th. Never mind. Or wait, no, you're done this weekend.
I'm done this weekend.
Yeah. Well, Sunday night's an improv show, and that's like 10 minutes from your house. So you can meet them that night if you want.
Yeah.
I'll get you a free ticket.
Yeah. Right.
My director might get mad at me, but I'll get you a free ticket to the improv show. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Fire me?
Right. Oh, I'll just heckle.
Yeah. Well, it's improv.
Can I get any kind of prompt from the audience? Pizza!
Dilithium crystals. Just all Star Trek suggestions.
Yep. Duotronic computers. I just need a character. Dr. Richard Daystrom.
A tribble. Those kids won't know what a tribble is. Yeah. Well, some of them might. Can't say all of them won't.
It's still pretty good.
It'll be fun. Well, we should probably wrap up since we're hitting the 2-minute mark.
Did you want to? I mean, we've got a couple minutes left. Did you want to bring up something before we wander? Did you want to throw up?
Well, like I said, if anybody wants to come see my improv show on Sunday, the 14th, you can look us up, Loose Screws on Facebook, or just message me in whatever way you want to message, and I'll get you information. Same thing about the Christmas play that I'm involved. If you want to come to that, we have shows going Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 2 of them on Saturday this coming weekend. Then the next weekend, we have shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So if you want more information on that, you can get a hold of me or look it up on my Facebook page.
Awesome.
Yeah. But there, I've actually got
There you
stuff
go.
to plug. Wow. Instead
And
of the
I will be
usual.
graduating Friday and knocking out the last of these little things this week. And
Will there be a ceremony?
yep, I get to, and it's a ceremony. It's one of those. You are invited if you wish to come, but it will be, it's like all afternoon sort of things where we just sit there for the afternoon. But
Are they going to live cast it?
yes, I
See,
will send you the link.
Yeah, I can watch the live cast.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
hit
Apparently,
hit the like button when you go up on stage.
all of a sudden it's wing, 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 wing.
Little hearts. Yes.
Right. That'd be
Good night,
awesome.
Bob. Good night, Bob.
Good night, Bob. All right. Well, Bob's leaving. That means that
it's time to go.
Show up.
Yes. That's our New Year's Eve ball is when Bob
right.
leaves. It's time to go.
Yep. It's good to see you here, Donald. Good to see you, Brent. Good to have both of you guys on here. We'll be back.
Hopefully next Friday.
Week, I will be a graduated human.
Next Monday. Next Monday.
Next Monday. So I'll be a graduated human. So that'd be cool.
Not human.
Yeah. I actually, at this point in time, I am absolutely 100% sure I will graduate. The question is whether I'm going to hold on to my 4.0, which is what I've got right now. And that's the real, I've never had a semester clear on 4.0. So I really want to hold on to the 4.0 because I've never had one. And it'd be a nice little feather in my cap. Yeah. But if I don't get it, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll just be, but it'll be just a, not a, the world's coming to an end. And so that's the hold here is we're looking forward to that 4.0. So we'll see whether I can hold on to it. But either way, I am definitely graduating.
Nice.
The chair of the department's even made sure that that's happening. So I will definitely graduate. I just wanted to graduate on that 4.0. Get out of there on that 4.0 and that in strong, right? All right. But that's pretty much it. I think that's all we got. I'll see you next week, Brent, and hopefully I'll see. We'll probably see Bob and Brent. I'm hoping I will see. Come on, Brain. Any day now, Brain. Donald. I don't know what the problem is, man. I just lost the name right there. Not like I don't know the guy. Not like he's been on this show for 5 years now. But hey, all right. Good night, everybody. That's all we got for today. I've been Guy.
I've been Troy.
And this is